Hello tutors. The videos are coming fast and furious at the moment. I just want to give you an update on this for Military Modeller Paul's Remembrance Day group build. I've got the horse painted. Doesn't look as good as this one, I must admit. No, it doesn't, but I think with horses, when you're doing them as figures, there's a couple of ways people tend to go with them. Either a smooth paint job, so you're just covering what the sculptor's given you, and the horse hair, and then he called it fur then, the horse hair is you can't see it. Now I'm not saying you can see mine because I've gone the other way and I'm showing you some texture on it. I've not done lots of tiny dots because I don't think that look particularly realistic, but I have put textures in. My horse is a mishmash of 2 or 3 horses I was looking at. I've been looking at some First World War British cavalry reenactors and just using their horses as a base. So I've put texture in, I hope. And when I say texture, I don't mean, say, like doing armour on a tank. There's no filler that's been sanded down or anything like that. It just purely is acrylic paint, and I've just used acrylics with these, and they're all Vallejos that I've been using. Apart from, no, sorry, tell a lie, some of the blue I've been using for shadow work on the brown, and that's come from Andrea. Sorry, I'm looking at the Andrea box here. But mostly Vallejo with some shading from blue shading from Andrea, all acrylic paint. But I've also noticed, not particularly being observant with horses, I noticed that so probably 2 out of the 3 that I was looking at, they got like these circles, a bit like dapple. You know, when we do, if you're doing like a trumpeter's horse, you know, we try and do the splodges on when you're doing 18mm anyway. It's easy because it's so tiny, just blop, 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 blop. But the brown ones have that dappling as well. And I thought, well, that's been nice, I'll try and recreate that. And it's all haphazard where they are. They seem to be on the rump and the flanks, is it? The sides of the horse, going up to the lower neck. The ones that I've seen anyway. Again, I'm no judge of horse flesh. And that's what I've done there. I've tried to recreate on either side, just randomly, so some are more pronounced, some are less, and not done a load of them. It's all a learning curve, but I actually really like it. I will probably have to, or maybe dull down the metallic on the... I've gone for brass buckles. The reenactors, some had brass, some had white metal. I've gone for brass. I just would have thought it would probably been less rusting, you know what I mean? So I've gone for that. I've left off the reins, as I think I said on my last video, only because I need the rider in place. He's stood up in the stirrups, you know, well, it's not a point, is it? I don't know what they call it when the sword's down. He's about to sabre somebody anyway, or slash at somebody. And I need him in position to work where the reins are going. So they're missing at the moment. The bit, is it here? That's little PE piece. That's more likely going to snap off with the super glue or something, because I'll faff around with I've got a feeling that's going to come on and off until it gets busted, and then I'm going to have to make something up probably, but we'll see. So I've also done the saddle, by the way, as well. I didn't want to make it needed to be a bit worn. British horse furniture tends to be a dark black brown. I have seen, again, looking at reenactors, they've got some of the like orangey brown. I don't know, I presume that's right, that's what they're supposed to be portraying, so you'd think they'd know what they're doing. I've gone for the black brown. I'm just thinking this is it's a yeomanry horse. Now yeomanry, as I've said to you guys before, are the equivalent, they're part of it's used to be called the Territorial Army up until the last few years, and now it's the reserves. So we'll call them reserves, but the yeomanry were the reserves of the British Army. They were the mounted reserves of the British Army. They could all obviously ride before they signed up, or they were already signed up, and you had to then sign another waiver, I think, to do what they call imperial service. to be sent overseas. That wouldn't absolve, if you didn't, that wouldn't get you out of serving overseas in the end when conscription come up. But for the first year or so, or maybe 18 months, 2 years, I'm not sure, you could not put your name forward, I believe, to be sent. I might have got that wrong, but I believe that's the case. So these guys were professionals in a way, they part-time, but they could all ride, they could take care of their horse furniture. It wasn't a case that, I'm sure spares weren't always easy to get hold of, but what I'm trying to say is I didn't want them to be some bedraggled unit that literally was on its last legs and hardly had any proper equipment and things like that. So the saddle I've shown, I've seen the reenacted saddles, but I've also seen a couple of photographs of originals that people have collected. And yes, they might be a bit more beat up, but you still get the tones of the leather and things. And they come in roughly different hues. But I've tried to stipple in the leather some different colours, a couple of scratches, but I didn't just want to go on the whole. The bandolier is probably a bit more, around the horse's neck is probably a bit more worn. I just gathered, that's been tied around the horse's neck quite loosely. It could then obviously be taken off and thrown around the rider itself if he wanted. Well, he's already got one, but I don't know. I could see. I was trying to show different colours of leather rather than paint it all the same thing. So, anyway, I could have said this all in front of a horse in front of you, couldn't I? Oh dear. Come down to the bench and we'll take a look at the horse. Right, guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. This will take not as long to show probably, although you know me. Why make a video for 5 minutes when you can make it into 25 minutes? Let's look at the saddle. This is like a ground sheet from what I can see, but the problem is with the lights. Can you see the texture I've put in that? I'm hoping to do some photographs, but I don't think I will. I'll probably miss the photographs off until the next video. I've got to set too much stuff up. So I've put texture in the blanket behind, shaded it with some blues. I like the 2 seconds while I just get the colour right. Is violet? Was it violet red? Yeah, violet red from Vallejo is fantastic for shading these browns and that as well. I haven't used it. I have used it slightly on the leather here on the saddle, but I've used it a lot on the horse. So we've got different dark blues, medium blues put into the shaded areas. Most of this will be, you won't see most of this because he's going to be stood up on it. So, but it's just enjoyable. It's enjoyable painting. I've put try to show like a canvas effect. And I've done some stippling on the blanket just to show that it's if it is a blanket, it could be a greatcoat actually. But I don't know if it's a blanket or a greatcoat. But anyway, I think it's a blanket. What am I talking about? It's got to be a blanket because I've seen about 4 or 5 different reenactors with different blankets on the back, and also a couple, as I say, original where people have added original bits and pieces to their saddles. It fits on quite nicely. I won't bother now, but it does fit on nicely. I'll probably have to maybe pare away a bit of paint to make sure she sticks on with some super glue. And as I say, it goes this way with a high back, obviously at the back. So that's our saddle. Here's our horse. These are the different little dapples or whatever you call them that I've added to the horse. Stippled all on the saddle blanket. The mane and tail I might do a bit more with yet. I've wanted to try and make it lighter at the ends. That's a problem when you're doing these type of casts. It's hard to, I would imagine, get them very, very finite because they just snap off. But I was just trying to show that lightness at the ends of the mane, where it tends to have a lot lighter hair. Again, gone with brass buckles, but I have seen them in white metal as well. Put some texturing over it. As I say, it's not showing. It's not showing as well up on the with the lights. I'll try and take some photographs if I can. But really nice. I've as I say, I've really been enjoying this, to the detriment of everything else. Although the winter time, and it's the first time in ages I've managed to actually get commissions finished, so that I've actually I don't have to start any fresh ones for a couple of weeks. Although say that Saxon gun battery gets started in 2 or 3 days, but yeah, it's a tiny one. But what I'm trying to say is I've got time where I can throw long periods during the day at this type of thing as well. So which has been great, really enjoyable. Rider, I'm going to start painting in a bit, and then obviously I've got all the different oats and stuff there, and canteen. These are set. They don't give you. That's his cover, by the way, for the back of his pith helmet, or his Wolseley helmet, I think it is. The canteen and I'm not sure if that's a gas mask or respirator or not. It may well be. That's going to be. They don't give you again the strapping for that. You've got to do that yourself. But it's positioned. They like you to position it so they were saying in the booklet to again give some movement to the rider as he's in his horse, riding his horse even. Bayonet. We've got the Lee Enfield carbine. It's a bit rough there. I might have to tidy that up yet a bit. I just put some Vallejo, just brushed on some Vallejo primer on these because they were set. I hadn't put any on. But yeah, they were going to be done. I was thinking of doing all these next, but I think what I'll do is I'll work on the rider so I can see where I am with things. So I hope everything's going well with you. Thoroughly enjoying this. I'll do a couple of little they're not holes, they don't go all the way through, but there's a couple of little ones on the heel of the rider's boots. There's one either, just in case you get one yourself, just check out for, there's like a little pinhole either on the heel of each boot. There was 1 or 2 in the, I believe, the saddle that I'd filled earlier on, the actual blanket and the ground sheet. But apart from that, that was the only other blemish I think was on the Wolseley helmet itself. It was very thin at the back. It would almost fall. It was almost non-existent resin-wise. So I put some plastic in and some very thin styrene sheet, super glued that to the hat, and then did some filling around it. It doesn't have to be perfect because that next screen's going to go over it and be flying away in the background. So as long as it just looked a bit better than it did. But they're the only well, they're not even gripes really. I've been enjoying this too much to have any real gripes with it. So yeah, guys, thank you very much yet again. Hopefully I'll remember to put some photographs at the end. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.